Well, Mister, now what weapons are we checking out next?
Well, this is an example. Again, this is not the entire representation of the German and Italian weapons, but this is just part of it right here. Amongst the Axis forces, the Germans, I'm sorry, this is the Italian rifle, Carcano. Again, like the Japanese, they had two calibers. This one was a 7.35 by 51 millimeter Carcano rifle, and another one was also a similar caliber, like the Type 38. It was a 6.5 Carcano rifle. That rifle, for a lot of people who are familiar with weaponry, know that that was the 6.5 Carcano was used by Lee Harvey Oswald to assassinate President John F. Kennedy.
And which rifle was that? This one?
It was this rifle right here. So this is the 6.5 by 52 Carcano rifle. Again, like the kind of rifle that was used by Lee Harvey Oswald to assassinate President Kennedy. And it was used throughout the war, even during the early conflicts during the 30s when Italian forces had invaded Abyssinia, which is now modern Ethiopia, in the 1930s. So let's move on to the other Axis forces.
Okay.
We'll start off with the German weapons. This is the standard rifle of the German military, whether it's the Wehrmacht, the Waffen SS, the Luftwaffe ground units, and yes, the German Air Force had ground forces. They had infantry, armor, and artillery. And this was the Mauser 98K. The K stood for Kurz, meaning short. It's no different than the Mauser rifle used in World War I, only it's shorter than its World War I counterpart. And it's bolt action fed by a 5-round stripper clip, like you see here. You open the bolt, you drop 5 rounds in there, and then when you push, and then you can just remove the stripper clip, and then when you reset the weapon forward, put it in battery, it will load the round.
And this is the stripper clip here.
That is a stripper clip right there. That metal piece that's holding the base of those rounds, that is called a stripper clip. And this is the type of round that they used on the Mauser, 7.92 by 57, also known as 8 millimeter long.
Okay.
And then the other German weapon we have here, the two common sidearms of the German military. The P08 Luger in 9 millimeter Parabellum, which means war, and the P38 made by Walther, also 9 millimeter. Now this weapon is known as the Sturmgewehr. It's what retired Army Special Operator Larry Vickers called the weapon that made the M1 Garand obsolete. What's unique about the Sturmgewehr is it's considered today the modern basis of today's assault rifles because it fires what's called an intermediate caliber round, a round in between a pistol and a full battle rifle. The reason why it was called Sturmgewehr, loose translation to storm rifles, because the Germans really didn't know what else to call it. It was originally called the MP-43, Machine Pistol 43 and Machine Pistol 44. They tried to hide it from Hitler, who didn't want any introduction of new rifles into the theaters in both West and the East. So they hid it from Hitler that this was basically a new submachine gun. Well, when the cat came out of the bag and Hitler found out about it, they gave him a demonstration, and Hitler finally said, go ahead, go in production. But they didn't make enough of these Sturmgewehrs to really make a difference. Only less than 500,000 Sturmgewehrs were made. Now, if you notice that kind of resembles a rifle today that a lot of people know as the AK-47. Well, Kalashnikov really did not copy the Sturmgewehr to make the AK-47. However, he did later on admit he was influenced by the Sturmgewehr in making the AK-47, and they shared a similar intermediate caliber cartridge, and this one is 7.92 by 33, known as 8 millimeter short.
Wow. Now, what's the P38?
The P38 is a later model handgun issued to the German military, to both infantry, Waffen SS, military police, and then again, Luftwaffe ground forces.
Now, which pistol was used more often? Because in war movies, you really only see the Luger. But
The Luger's used. It was used primarily in World War One, but the P-38. They both had equal uses. But a lot of people like the P-38 more because it had a slide safety there, and it was what's called had a double action feature to it.
okay. Well, is that it for our World War II German and Axis weapons?
I think that's it for right now for all our Axis weapons.
All right. Thank you very much.